Hello, Mark Larsen here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Zach Tidwell. Welcome, Zach.
Hello, thank you for having me on. Also,
Well, thanks.
I
Thanks.
forgot to ask, am I centered in my camera?
You are. You look great.
Okay, cool.
No, what? I like you. I like everything. So no, that is cool. So Zach, we just talked the other day for the first time, and I know you're in Denver. Is that right? Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, in the burbs of Denver.
Okay. So, give a little bit of background for for the audience to get to know Zach a little bit better.
Just like a quick overview of everything.
Sure. Yes.
All right, I am, as you guys have heard, Zach Tidwell. I'm a now 30-year-old Marine Corps veteran, and I am completely blind and deaf in one ear because I shot myself in the face on
Mm.
March 31st, 2019. But despite all of that and having to relearn how to do everything from walking and brushing my teeth all the way to where I am today, and having struggled with alcoholism for 2.5 years and getting diagnosed with an incurable, deadly genetic disease,
Wow.
I am now a self-taught, award-winning software developer, making the
Excellent.
digital world a more accessible place for everyone. I ski, rock climb, and whitewater kayak, and compete in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu against people without disabilities and all
Brilliant.
sorts of other stuff.
Zach. You're such an inspiration. I mean, so should I go back to how did you get to the point where you wanted to basically end your life, and then getting to today where you're on fire? I mean,
Yeah, it was, you know, it boils down to a lack of willingness to speak up on my part is what got me there. But
okay.
in late 2017, I found while I was on my second deployment, found out that my wife was cheating on me. Came back from that,
Oh,
things didn't work out, and then in March of 2018, I was in a really nasty motorcycle accident and got a traumatic brain injury for that, and that's when I
wow.
really started to spiral. So
Yeah.
that's first time I'd ever struggled with depression in my life. First time, I really started having sleeping issues, and I became very agitative and impulsive.
Okay.
Was drinking a lot, going out in town and starting fights, which was never like me,
Yeah.
and blowing all of my money, which was also never me. I've always been
Uh-huh.
very frugal.
Uh-huh.
And I was honorably discharged in August of that year, and then came back home. Was going to college and working and keeping up
Right.
appearances that I was doing okay, but I wasn't. I really believed that because of how I had performed in the Marines, specifically operating on or in the mindset of like, I will just grit my teeth and get through this. And because that
Okay.
served me very well in the Marines, I thought that would work in that capacity too. And it didn't. So
Okay.
on March 27th of 2019, I decided I was going to kill myself.
Wow.
Kept up the act for a couple more days. Even a couple days later, my parents were at my apartment in the very same room where I had decided I was going to kill myself. And even
Oh,
literally minutes before I shot myself, my roommate had come home early from work and interrupted me recording my suicide video to my family because I thought that was more
oh,
personal than a note. And I paused the video, went out into the kitchen and talked to him like nothing was wrong, and then went back in my room and shot myself.
wow.
Like right here. So right in between the eyes.
You look so uh, you look so great.
Thanks.
How much did it take? Quite a bit. What was it after you shot yourself? Somebody did your roommate find you probably, or how did that
Yeah. So he was home and my eyes open. I keep them closed to protect him from light, but like this
Sure.
eye doesn't open all the way because all of this bone was gone.
Okay.
So
Wow.
they reconstructed the bridge of my nose, my sinuses, and my right eye socket and kind of reattached everything. But my roommate obviously was home. He was back in his room because when I had gone out and talked to him, he was kind of wrapping up dishes and stuff, I guess. And so
Mhm.
he went back in his room, and when I shot myself, he thought a pot had fallen out in the kitchen. When he came out
Sure.
and saw that nothing was wrong, he knocked on my door, and when I didn't answer, he came in, and I was slumped on my bed with my
Wow.
gun next to me and a bullet hole in my forehead. But
Wow.
he, I woke up while he was on the phone with 911, and I was awake. I don't remember any of it, but I was awake and
Okay.
combative all the way into the hospital, and then they put me on life support.
Wow. I mean, I am so glad that you're not successful. I mean, you're doing so many great things now, and it was not your time, obviously. But oh my gosh. So how long were you in like recovery to get all that to what you look like today? Because you look great.
Thanks. It was 51 days in the hospital for that initial stint after I shot myself. That included the facial reconstruction and everything. And then I went to blind rehab for about 2.5 months after that and
Okay.
just learned basic blind guy skills, like got introduced to screen reading software and to
Okay.
using a cane and trying to cook blind and all that stuff.
Sure.
And it ended up being the case. I was back home, I think it was by September or October. I can't, it
Okay.
was one of the two.
Yeah.
But so I shot myself March 31st, and in December of that same year, I was snowboarding again in the Rockies. And
Wow.
had I had a conversation with my parents while I was in the hospital because the
Okay.
doctors had told us for a while that I was going to get sight back in my left eye
Okay.
once they did the facial reconstruction. And randomly, one day when the ICU nurses were making their rounds, one of them dropped it on me that no, you are going to be totally blind. And I just
Hmm. That
kind
would
of
be
made the
tough.
decision that I wanted my independence back and I was going to
Sure.
not become a bump on a log and hopefully
Yep.
turn this into something that could help other people. And
Amen.
luckily, it's worked out that way, but it
Yeah.
would be depressing if it hadn't. But yeah, it's
But,
been
I
cool.
mean, your mindset, I mean, you made the decision, and I think maybe is that some of the background of the Marines, the discipline that you were going to do it, and, I don't know. I've never been through anything close to what you've been through, but I just from what I know you have done since that day, was that right away that you were gonna I mean, what was the first thing after you were able to kinda be out and about again that you decided to start out first?
Um, I started, so I actually, because they teach you the very, very basics of that stuff when you've lost, you know, gone
Sure.
from normal vision to no sight and being deaf. And when you're starting with very basics
Oh,
at blind
yeah.
rehab. So I came home with the goal of starting college in the spring semester. So I
Okay.
made
Okay.
myself, I learned how to start a blog so that I had to get on the internet and learn how to and use
Excellent.
my computer every day. And I was just practicing everything. And so
Perfect.
I was actually, in January, I was back in college. So, 9 months after, 8.5 months later, I was snowboarding. And then 9 months after, I was back in college. And six
Wow.
months after that, I was back out on my own.
Amazing. Bless you. So with snowboarding, going back after, before and after, how was it the first time without
It was horrible.
quit
So
thinking with you?
it
Yeah.
it was it was really cool in the sense of that was my first taste of independence because
Sure. Oh, yeah.
I at that point I was living with my parents. I Anytime I cooked something, like I had to have them double check or help with it.
Sure.
Everything that I did other than the gym
Yeah.
was I kind of needed help with. So
Okay. Okay.
that was when I got to snowboard again because I was a huge snowboarder when I could
Oh,
see.
then yeah,
I
you
was
were
like,
definitely to go back to that.
yeah, I was like, I am chasing this.
You
And
gotcha.
so it was not successful whatsoever. A lot of it
What?
was, you know, I'm a pretty good skier now and I'm a really good ski biker now. I still don't snowboard. I don't know any totally blind people who snowboard. I know a lot
Okay.
of totally blind people who ski, and I know a lot of legally blind guys who snowboard, but no
Okay.
totally blind guys. So I don't, some of it was I was so new to being blind and so discombobulated and still recovering from having shot myself that
Yeah. Yeah.
I was terrified of hitting my head. So every time I did, I was like, what if I knock something loose? Or I've
I
had
could
enough.
see that thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I've had enough brain damage, so I need to stop. And
Wow. I
but
mean, but skiing you can do and everything. And I asked you the
yeah,
other day, and how do you ski?
it's all, even the whitewater kayaking is the same way. Like
Okay.
I'm not attached to anyone. I'm in my own boat kayaking. I'm on my own skis
Okay.
skiing.
Okay.
We're not tethered in any way, but we do
Okay.
use radios. So
Ah.
they'll my guide rides somewhere back behind me and will be like, hey, we're getting ready to drop in on a black groomer.
Okay.
You're coming in on the top right side of the run. So when you drop in, hold a left and I'll tell you when you're centered. And so,
Wow.
especially the steeper it is, the easier it is for me to feel the terrain. So
Oh, I
once I
bet.
get centered and, I drop in and I hold the turn, they'll say, you're good. And once I am, I can really do it by feel unless,
Sure.
I start creeping too far to one side. They'll call some turns if there's slow signs or if it gets narrow or
Okay.
really busy in an area, they'll start actually calling my turns. But
Okay.
it's
Okay.
kayaking, they have to be very deliberate in calling all of your
See that.
stuff to get you set up for the rapids. But once you're in
Oh,
it,
yeah. Yeah.
it's a lot of reaction and then people yelling paddle or wave left or,
Oh, kidding.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
there's craziness.
So do you think your other senses have become more, sensitive since you've lost your eyesight?
There's a big caveat with that.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yes, asterisk. I am completely blind, deaf in one ear, have no sense of smell. And as a result of no sense of smell, my sense of
Oh,
taste is
wow.
dull.
Oh,
So
really?
my one ear is super sensitive. And
Okay.
I feel like my biggest thing has been like my spatial awareness slash mental mapping and
Wow.
that kind of stuff. In my Yeah, it's weird. I Certain things have definitely heightened. It's just not in the way that you would think. Like I don't have a
Okay.
super sensitive
Interesting.
sniffer because my nose doesn't work. So,
Okay.
but it has been really cool to seeing it. It took about 2 years before stuff finally started to like adapt. But
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, you do you jujitsu and what is that something you always wanted to do?
So I've been an athlete my entire life. I played
Okay.
sports year round, growing up constantly, but I wrestled in high school and
Okay.
then really loved that. And when I was in the Marines, I found out about jujitsu and really wanted to start it, but I did not
Okay.
have the time or the money
Sure.
to be able to do that. So it was something I wanted to get into after the Marines. And it was after I was living back out on my own, I moved into downtown Denver
Okay.
and I started reaching out to gyms like, hey, I have a grappling background. I was in the Marines too. Like I am teachable.
Mhm.
Please,
Mhm.
I would you be willing to work with me? And I got a bunch of no replies from several gyms, but one gym was willing to work with me, and
Excellent.
it stuck. Yeah.
Very, very good. I mean, you said you could go to the gym without what do you do when you go to the gym? I mean, typical workouts or what do you lift or uh
Yeah, I lift 6 days a week. I do an
okay.
hour long Peloton ride on the
Okay.
day that I don't lift, and then I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 4 or 5 days a week as well.
Nice. Very nice. So probably in Denver, how do you get around? This, do you take, do you have somebody that drives you or how do you just take Ubers or anything like that? Or how do you,
Yeah, when I was in Denver, I learned how to walk from my house
okay.
to and across my college campus. So I
Okay.
would get there on foot, but I could take like the biggest street that I had to cross to get to my campus was 7 lanes of traffic.
Oh, is
So
that
like
all?
that was a big and trying, there's those beeping signals like crosswalks aren't very
Sure. Yeah.
common. So like you have to learn how to listen to all the traffic and that
That,
took a really long time to get down. But
that.
I would also, if I really need a ride, I Uber a lot of the time,
Okay.
or if, like I've built a community in my new jujitsu gym because I'm in the burbs
Excellent.
now, not downtown, but I can get a ride to just about any class that I want to go to.
Okay.
So with
Perfect.
stuff like that, I'm able to kind of piggyback on other people.
Okay. Excellent. So with the Dreamcatcher podcast, I know you have your own podcast. So was that something you always wanted to do? And how long have you been doing that?
Yeah, I've wanted to do that. It's been years that I've wanted to do it, and then I
Okay.
finally last winter. So I'm a little over a year now. I think I just recorded episode 80 the other day.
Excellent.
So I'm way
Wow.
behind you. But
Wow.
I
Congratulations on 80. That's a lot of episodes in a year. So
yeah, so I finally it was kind of it felt like good timing for me. I definitely got in over my head with it, but because I had
hmm,
written the first draft of my book was finished and
okay.
I kind of thought I was like, oh, okay, now this burden of writing the book will be a little less, which is so wrong. The editing process is horrendous. But
I
so
bet.
I thought I would have more time on my hands while I revised the book and while I continue building the business that I'm currently trying to
Okay.
build in the software space. And so been doing that for a little over a year now.
Excellent. I mean, that just you're so inspirational, and you're in the process of what's your book? I mean, what is do you have a title for your book and the time when it's going to come out?
I don't know when it'll be out. I am working with an editor right now, so
Okay.
I'm writing the fourth draft of it right now, which
Okay.
is I think this will be the worst one
Really?
because the third the finished third draft was the first one that a professional saw.
Oh,
So
okay.
there was a lot of, you know, hey, there's a solid skeleton here, but there's a lot of fat that you need to cut
I see
out
what
and
you mean.
then
Yep.
refine some of these areas. So
Okay.
I'm hoping by the end of 2026. I'm hoping the new business is launched by then too, but
Excellent.
we'll see.
Yeah.
And but the working title is called "Pushing Past Possible: A Blind Marine's Journey to Death's Door and Back."
Okay, I can't wait to read that. I mean, so how was writing a book? I mean, I've always thought about writing a book, but it seems almost overwhelming. So, I mean, is writing a book something you wanted to do anyway, or it was your calling? No, not
No,
okay. That's
I
me.
like I'm a big science fiction and fantasy
Oh
reader,
yeah.
so I like the idea of trying to write a book like along one of those genres one day. But this was I felt like I needed to. There's people which it didn't make sense. People telling me what just from surviving the suicide attempt. People like you need to write a book, and I was like no. And but now that I've done, especially the alcoholism came like
Hmm.
or resurfaced like after I'd been blind for like 2 years ish. That was
Okay.
my college stopped making my course content accessible to me. So
Ah,
all of a sudden I couldn't
terrible.
independently pursue my education anymore. And then I decided, oh, I'm gonna blow off some steam and order a drink after my
Sure.
first exam. That was
Sure.
like a year and a half back into my education. And I didn't realize that I had definitely been a functioning alcoholic before I shot myself. So
Really? Okay.
that kicked off 2.5 years of alcoholism, and literally while I was at rehab trying to get sober is when I got diagnosed with that disease that will eventually reduce me into a vegetative state. Like it is
Wow,
because it
Zach, you're
is incurable. So the fact that I'm still here, I'm 2 years sober now, and I
excellent.
have already won a couple of awards for my first piece of software. I'm like, okay, now I've actually
Very
done
good.
something, and I'm hoping, because I've overcome the other stuff after. I feel like there's a lot of stuff I'm really embarrassed about to have out there, but the hope is it will keep someone else either
Yes.
from
Yes.
continuing down that path
Yes.
or, give them it's in no way any sort of instruction or it's telling my story, but
Yeah, and
hope
that's yeah.
yeah, hoping people can derive whatever they need out of it kind of thing. Because it is, at the end of the day, continuing to keep going in whatever capacity, whether it be the sobriety, the mental health stuff, overcoming a disability, whether you did it to yourself like me or not, it's all a choice. And that
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
perspective is a choice. Perspective is kind of the big, I think, middleman in that whole process between where you're at and where you want to go.
Yes,
And
I would agree.
so I'm just
Yeah.
hoping it'll save some lives. Because when I speak, man, I people people always come after me afterwards, sometimes in tears, and it is
Mhm.
either they've been affected by these things, a lot of it suicide specifically, but the
Okay.
addiction stuff, or are struggling with it, and like seems to have a huge impact. And have had people tell me like I'm going to go get help now, and I think I can
Ah,
only
excellent.
speak in so many places, but this book will be available everywhere. So I hope it'll help
Yes.
somebody who needs it.
Yes. And if there's after it comes out, if there's any way I can promote it, just get a hold of me. So,
Okay.
I mean, and your backstory, yeah, people, I believe they do resonate with backstories. It's like they went through this, and I think that, and you're so inspirational. And we haven't even known each other just days, and you're amazing, man. And
Thanks.
I just so gosh, you got me. So going back to your podcast, what do you have a certain topic you do in your podcast?
I'm intentionally very broad.
Okay.
I I'm very curious, so I'm following my curiosity and speaking
Okay.
with people that I find compelling, whether that be some of it's mental health has come up a lot
Okay.
unexpectedly because of my story, but and so people will open up about stuff, but it's scientists. I had a former Super Bowl champ on who lost his career to brain trauma
Oh
and
wow.
uh, professional dominatrix. I've had people researching MDMA treatments for veterans with PTSD, and I just
Okay.
had a gentleman on who escaped Soviet-controlled Hungary as a child. Like
Wow.
it's all over. It's this incredibly wide breadth
Okay.
of
Okay.
that was really grandiose. Incredibly broad was silly. It is a broad, it is a
Okay.
broad swath of things because I'm curious. So it's
I
some of
think
it's
that's
personal
excellent.
stories, some of it's people doing cool things in businesses, and a lot of it's scientists and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I think, and that's the nice thing about podcasting. It can be anything you want. It is such a broad way of doing it in an area and kind of whatever you want to do. So I'm glad. Wow, and some really the high powered speaker or guests. That's excellent too. So so you said you speak in front of people on stages.
Yeah, yeah. So
How's
it's
that?
been most of that's been, I guess, in the last year or so. I
Okay.
really, again, I never thought it was really something that I would be doing, but it's ended up
Okay.
being something that I do and
Okay.
I actually really enjoy, even though it's
Very
funny.
good.
I can sit here, I can talk to you about my story all day and
Okay.
whatever granular detail that we want, and I'm fine. For whatever reason, when I'm in front of a group of people telling it, I usually cry like a baby at some
Really?
point, which is weird. I don't like that part, but the rest of
Well,
it's been cool.
that is cool. And
So
this touches most. It definitely touches your emotions more than.
yeah.
Gosh, I mean, so do you speak, like, in front of kids then? Or have you done that?
I haven't done kids yet. I'd be open to doing like schools and
I can
stuff
see you
like
doing
that,
that.
but it's yeah, it's all been adults, whether businesses and nonprofits so far.
Okay. So I just had this going I mean, have you ever thought about doing a TEDx talk?
Yeah, I haven't looked into what that takes, to be honest, like what they're looking for. I would
Mhm.
be interested in it. I think I would like to do that because I have entertained the idea of it being okay. At some point, I will look into this. I think
Sure.
maybe wait until after the book's out.
I could see that. I
But
could definitely
yeah,
see that, yeah. So do you have more books in you?
maybe one day
Maybe.
for fun.
That would be
Not
me.
yeah, not my story kind of stuff.
Okay.
But again, I think writing sci-fi or fantasy at some point would be cool just because I'm
I can see you
such a
doing
nerd
that.
for those kinds of books. But yeah,
No, I can see that. So since this is a Dreamcatcher podcast, I always ask the guest, when you were growing up, what were your dreams? What did you think you were gonna be when you grew up?
I knew I was going to go into the military.
You did? Okay.
Yes, I didn't know if that would be enlisted or if I would go to college first and become an officer. But I knew most of the men in my family have been in the military. My dad's a veteran, and I was never pushed in that direction. I just
Okay.
wanted to be like those men, and so that led
Okay.
me. As I grew a little older, I decided the way to serve was joining the infantry, and so
Okay.
I joined the
Yes.
Marines. But yeah,
Okay. So were the Marines like you had envisioned? I mean, I would have in my mind what they might be like. I would think, like we were talking today, very disciplined, but so is that kind of what you found?
yeah, I was very naive. I had a very distinct conversation with one of the recruiters at my recruiting office. It wasn't my recruiter, but it was the other one in the office. And when he when he knew that I was trying to be an infantryman, he was like, "Dude, you do not want to do this."
Really?
He
Okay.
was an infantryman. He was like, "You're gonna be carrying heavy shit everywhere. You're not gonna be sleeping. And when you do sleep, it'll be in fighting holes. Like, you don't
Wow.
want to do this." And my
Right.
16-year-old self was, because I went in to talk to a recruiter for the first time when I was 16. So I guess, and they told me to come back when I was older. So this might have been when I was 17, but
Okay.
they was like, I was like, in my head, it was like, yeah, dude, it's not World War II. We're not going to be
Mhm.
digging trenches and
Right.
like stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it is, he was right. But it was a great experience. I will leave it at that. It was just,
Okay.
it
Okay.
was, yeah, it was what he said it would be. So
Okay. Excellent. So okay, we know you like snowboarding. What are some other things that you like to do in your spare time?
rock climbing, the
Okay.
whitewater kayaking isn't something that I love, but I do enjoy it. And
Okay.
then I would say I do love the gym, and then I play guitar.
Really? Okay.
I mean the coding thing. I really it's most of my time right now is either spent exercising, working on the book, or working on the current software that I've been
I
working
can
on for almost
I
2
can
years
see.
now. So
So
yeah.
rock climbing, is that something you always wanted to do or somebody how, I mean, that sounds intimidating to me. So how high do you climb?
I don't know what like the biggest thing is that I've climbed. I'm not some crazy talented climber, but I do enjoy it. I did some indoor stuff in high school and then started, because I still do some indoor stuff now, but I
Okay.
started doing some outdoor stuff as once I was blind as well. And I really, the outdoor stuff is as cool as indoor rock climbing is. The outdoor is
Oh,
so much cooler because it
I
has
bet.
another dimension to it.
Yeah.
So, and go ahead.
And where you live, I mean, you have access to so many rocks.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to try ice climbing for a couple of years, so hopefully I'll get a
Ice
chance to
climbing,
do
I have
that in
never
the near
heard of
future.
that. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's pretty it looks so cool. So I would love to try that at some point.
Wow. So, same kind of equipment you use for rock climbing then? Or
No, they have these big picks. I mean, I think they can top rope it still, but a lot of it's like the lead, depending on I guess your r- place in the lineup, like you could be
okay.
lead climbing it, but it's a big ice picks and then these like crampons on your boots
Okay.
where you kick, like you'll hack into the ice with like this the big pick, and then or your
Wow.
axes, and then you can kick into the wall too. Again, I haven't done it. This is just what I know of it, but yeah.
Okay, okay. I mean, that's amazing. So, I mean, being so close to the mountains there, so, did you like to hike or did you do that or can you do that?
Yeah, actually I just went yesterday. I
Awesome.
if you get me on single track trails, I'll just follow it behind someone with my trekking
Okay.
poles because I can feel where the edge is. So
Uh,
obviously machine gunners do a lot of hiking in the Marines, so this is a
right.
little more enjoyable because you're not carrying 100 pounds of shit
Yeah,
on your
yeah,
back. But
yeah, I can see that one.
it's yeah. Trying to think of what else. Like there's other stuff I'd
Okay.
like to
So,
try, but I've I've skydived and all
have
sorts of
so
other
how
stuff
was
too.
that? Did you like skydiving?
Yeah, I've done it once when I could see, and then I've done it blind as well. And the blind, it feels kind of fake blind. It
Okay.
almost
I guess I could see that, yeah.
it's sensory overload during the free fall. Then once you're
Okay,
under
yeah, I
canopy,
found that one.
it feels kind of fake. Once you're under canopy, it feels like you're just dangling from your harness and someone blowing a big fan in your face or something. It's weird.
Wow, never done that, but that sounds like that would be, that'd be pretty awesome. So,
Yeah.
when you played the guitar, do you sing along with it?
Privately, I will a little bit, but not. I
Okay.
won't sing in front of people.
Come on.
It's like guitar is the one hobby that I have that is not constant. It's kind of
Okay,
cyclical. So I'll be really into it for 6 months and then not touch it for a couple months and then be back
okay,
into it. And I
okay,
don't have a singing voice anyways, but it's all been something that I took up since losing my sight, and I
okay,
enjoy it.
okay, excellent. So Zach, So, like 5 years, 10 years down the line, where would you like to be in your life?
I mean, I'm gonna try and run the wheels off this business that I'm making,
Excellent.
and that I've been working on. Obviously, the book will be out by then.
Okay, that's
The
very
the
good.
the big honestly now, like the book kind of wraps up with what I'm doing next, and one of those things being this
Sure.
company. So it kind of has to wait until the first version is out. But I've been thinking about what the like meaning of life is lately, and I think
Sure.
that is to experience it for the good, the bad,
Yes.
and the ugly. As simple as that is, I think it is that.
Yes.
So I really, when the book is off my plate, I want to do more frequent podcasting because currently
Okay.
all
Okay.
of all of last year I did 5 episodes a month, and it's just been too much with the other stuff on my plate. So now I
I
do
bet.
just one every week. And so,
Okay.
I mean, it's not a huge step back, but it is a step back. And then
Sure.
really just continue to build the software thing once because I'll have more time from being done with the book and stuff, and then
Okay. Okay.
lean back into more traveling and more, I get to do a lot of cool adventure stuff still. I haven't done it in the first like 2 years that I was blind. I was gone a lot, and I've intentionally had to step back over the past 2 years in the
Good.
interest of this book and software. So I really want to be more intentional about the experiencing life things.
Understand that.
I've been doing some international travels over the past couple of years. I'd like to do a lot more of that
Very nice.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
I was just gonna ask if you like traveling. Obviously, you must.
Yes, I do. I love it. So
Oh, me too.
it's cool.
So
Yeah.
where did you go?
I went to like internationally, you mean?
Yeah.
Last year I went to Italy and Costa Rica. I'm
Awesome.
going on a couple of the trips this year. I think the year before that I went to Ireland and Spain,
Okay.
and I've got all sorts of places I want to go,
That's
but
very good.
I
I've
love it.
been to Italy, but I mean, Italy, I was awesome. I did you like Italy?
Yeah, we went to Siena and Florence. I don't know,
Okay.
where did you guys
We
go?
were down in, southern part, Positano, Amalfi, flew into Naples
Oh,
there.
like on the coast?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool.
and, with the crazy drivers in Naples. Oh my gosh. They're very much crazy, but what a
Yeah.
beautiful place. Costa Rica, I've heard really good things about that. Did you like Costa Rica?
I honestly, I would like trying the expat or digital nomad thing down there. That's one of the things, I don't like saying I don't have time for things because again, it's you make time for the things that you want to do.
True.
I'm
Yep.
currently making time for enough things to where I'm intentionally waiting to make time. I want to learn Spanish, and then once I have some of the stuff off my plate, start investing a lot of time into that, and then go back down there and at least with some
Excellent.
grasp of the language and try just maybe staying down there for 3 to 6 months. And
How
jujitsu is big down there, so
is it? Okay, perfect.
yeah, I could go down there. I could still code and work on the business. I could still train a lot of jujitsu, and I could also surf because I learned how to surf in 2024, and I
A lot
would
of
love to
languages.
do that some more. Like
Very, very good. I love
it's
that.
very, very fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is you got definitely more books than you. You got all these things you're doing now, and, so how did you learn how to code? Did you do that in college, or where
I
did
taught myself.
you taught
So
yourself?
I
So,
was in I was I was in college for nursing when I shot myself.
okay.
Turns out you can't do that blind. So I switched to
Yeah.
clinical psychology because I wanted to turn my experiences into something that would help people. So,
Uh-huh.
but a year and a half into that is when my college stopped making my course content accessible to me. And
That's
so
terrible.
at that same time that I started drinking, like I told you about,
Uh-huh.
I started researching what caused the accessibility issues. Cause even now, like most software is inaccessible. So like
I
I
bet.
can pay my water bill, but I can't go in and set up auto pay for my water bill. I have to manually pay it every month because like a lot of
Really?
that site isn't accessible. I can't pay my mortgage or my HOA independently, but I can get an Uber by myself. And
Okay.
so there's all these so many things in the world are
Yeah.
inaccessible. And I started
Yeah.
researching what it was. And when I found out the solution was all in the code, I decided that I was, again, going to do something about it.
Yeah.
So I dropped out of college and taught myself how to code.
So how was that? Was that I would have no idea how to do that. I mean, was that what you thought it'd be like or easier
I
or
also didn't know what I was doing. So I literally just started Googling and reading articles online. And
okay.
so I started teaching myself. I dropped out of college and started teaching myself, I think, in October of 2021.
Okay.
And in December of 2023, I won those two Game of the Year awards for my first piece of software. So
Wow. That
it
you did well.
became, what's that?
You did very well.
It just, I treated it like a full time job. And literally taught myself by reading articles and then trying things. And, you have to write your code
Mhm.
in an IDE, an integrated development environment, or at least in an editor. So I would read stuff and then try and apply that in my own context for what I wanted to
Sure.
work on. And it just slowly over time kind of
Kinda like
figured it out. And it's weird because I love it now. I'm a nerd about it now.
okay.
I will wake up excited to go code, as dorky as that is. But
Well, that's
I
it. That's good. That's a very good sign.
yeah.
So
And so it's worked out to be this thing because I never would have done this when I could see.
really.
I remember after I was out of the Marines, while I was going to college, at one point I was playing some game on my phone. I feel
Mhm.
like it was Angry Birds. I'm not really sure, but
Okay. Okay.
I was like, how do people make these things? And I Googled
Right.
it and saw a screenshot of what code looked like. And I was like, F that. That looks
What me
horrible.
too.
And just never considered it again until I needed it. So it's been this really cool kind
Yeah.
of circular path. And now I'm working on some tools that should help.
Okay.
Everything that I make looks and functions normally for people without disabilities, but
Okay.
behind the scenes, it's accessible to virtually every physical disability. So whether you're
Excellent.
legally blind or colorblind or totally
Right.
blind and totally deaf, you can use it with Braille. If you have no arms, you can use it with your voice. Like
Okay.
it's accessible to virtually everybody. And so now I'm trying to make some stuff that will help students who were in my position where I was back in 2021 not
Very nice.
have to face the same issues.
I love all you're doing. Oh my gosh. And how can I mean if not but how will people find this what you're writing this and all this when it's finished?
So I have a website, which is zachtidwell.com. It's
Okay.
TID as in Delta, WELL.com.
Okay.
And I guess Zach is ZACH. But
Okay.
so I have a website there with all that stuff. There's a
Okay.
mailing list. It is not a spam list. I've had it for like 2 years and still haven't sent an email out. I have it for this purpose of people asking me this stuff. And I'm like, I will make announcements about it when it's
Yeah. No, yeah.
there.
Yes.
Um, but in
No.
all my social medias, obviously I will be posting that kind of everywhere. I think I'm at Zach, so ZACH, C as in Charlie, and then Tidwell. So
Okay.
at Zach C Tidwell, kind of everywhere.
Okay. Excellent. So, and about your podcast, name where people can find it, when it drops, what's all that information?
I release episodes every Monday. It is called Going In Blind with Zach Tidwell, and I do not go in blind. I research
Okay.
my guests, but we don't do any pre-show calls or anything like that, and I don't
Okay.
send them any questions. So that's just a play on words since I can't see a damn thing. But it's every Monday. I will also be making announcements about the book and the software when it's
Excellent.
time on there as
Very good.
well. So
Okay. Yeah, and we can share all this information in the show notes too. But
okay.
Zach, I'm glad I'm glad we got our God crossed our paths or universal, whatever you believe. I mean, like I said, you're on fire. You're doing so many things, and I'm glad you're out there helping people. Have it resonate with them, so you can help them maybe take a different path. On one that might be. I don't know. Look what I mean. I said the other day that maybe this was a blessing. It seems like a blessing, but it's what you had to go through to get that blessing. is been a lot, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful for where I am today. So
show.
it's obviously I wasn't there were times where I wasn't,
I
but
bet
it's again, it's perspective. I mean,
it
you
is.
get to choose how you look at
You
it. Even
do.
like
Amen.
you could sometimes people are very negative, like on my behalf about it almost. And like
Yeah.
even you're not doing that. You're taking a positive perspective on it. And
Yeah.
we
No,
always have that choice.
you're doing so much good, and I mean, that's excellent. I can't wait to see follow your journey going forward. And if there's any way I can help you, man, just let me know. If there's any way I can do,
Okay.
I don't know what I could do, but just that invitation's always out there. So, and if I ever get to Denver, I would love to meet you in person. I think that would be awesome. I don't know. Do you drink coffee?
I do. Believe it or not, I
Okay.
don't drink alcohol anymore, but I
Oh,
do. I have
that's
coffee
cool.
right here. I've been drinking coffee this
Well,
whole time. So,
yeah, I got one right over here. So coffee's a
yeah.
good thing. So
Yeah,
no,
that would be awesome, man. You've got
okay.
my info, so just
Yeah,
stay
I
in
will do
touch.
that. And I get to Denver, my brother-in-law lives in Aurora, out there, and
Okay,
so and I'm
cool.
only in central Nebraska, so it's not even that far. But so Zach, before we end the podcast, anything else you would like to share with the audience?
We didn't get real deep into some of the heavier stuff, which I think it was nice because that kind of that can weigh things down a little bit. But if someone did hear that and realizes that you were on that path where you're having those thoughts, or even, starting to entertain the idea that your solution to wherever you're at is ending your life, that is not the case. I promise you it can and will get better, but you do have to speak up. You have to say something to someone, whether that be, it doesn't have to be a professional, it can be just someone that you trust. And if you don't have that, you can call the suicide hotline at 988. I went through the worst depression of my life after I was blind,
Okay,
and I've called that number before,
good.
and they will connect you with the services that you need. So just you have to speak up, and it won't be easy. It will not be quick. I still think speaking up about that worst bout of depression that I ever had was the hardest thing
Mhm.
that I've ever done. But it does get easier, and that momentum starts to build, and you will come out on the other side of it a stronger and better
Yes.
person, being thankful for the fact that you did get through it.
Yes. Excellent. No, and I think that's a great way to end the podcast. And Zach, it's great to have met you. And thank you for being on the podcast. And I look forward to keeping in touch with you and having that coffee too coming up. So on that,
Yeah.
enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll end right there.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.